Elevate,
the podcast series by Elevation Barn.
Racism hasn't shown up for me in about 30 years, but racism, does it exist? Yeah, it does. But for me, no. Let's say the word nigger. So I broke it down to those constituent elements and realized it's all about the association to the word. If I could change the meaning, I change the outcome. I did some research. It means king, right? Do not be afraid to show who you are. Come with heart. Come with contribution in your heart. If you're coming for what can I get, this is the wrong place for you. Yeah. Who are you, right? And if you come with this, wrong place. Come with this. Heart, not head, first. And sometimes that movement from head to heart is a very long journey, but it's about who you are, not what you do. If you treat people as being beneath you or below you or less than you, you're in the wrong place. So if I've got curiosity, humility, empathy comes next. We have an opportunity for people that don't actually like each other, apparently, to come together to create something far more powerful than the sum of its parts. And we're never the same again.
We all crave for more clarity of purpose in our lives, understanding how we can be more meaningful in the lives of others. But to be this, we need to understand ourselves first. Elevate helps us to reflect on our lives through the stories of our peers who have explored and discovered the hacks to elevate what's important and stand aside of what's not. In these episodes, we talk with leaders from all walks of life, sharing their stories so you can elevate yours. Please subscribe and join us, explore your wisdom from these stories with others, and join us in the barn to unite with new peers doing something of their own to elevate their importance. You'll be in great company. All right, so welcome to Elevate. Today, I'm honored and delighted to interview and connect with a great chap, Robert Ian Bonnick, who many of those around the world who have emerged and connected to Bali see him as one of the greatest catalysts and greatest friends in understanding the terms and the trade of this incredible nation. Today, we're going to be exploring his journey, how he is able to bring this from his life in England through a little bit of Milan into Australia and then here into Bali. His book, Soul Survivor, has been a inspiration to so many people. And I'm going to unfold that a little bit there. But today I want to go on the journey of the guy who is the entrepreneur, the connector, the catalyst for what Indonesia has become one of the greatest nations in the world. So Ian, Rob, we'll go with. I'll start that then.
either
on a different chapter.
Either or is fine.
Yeah. So Rob, thank you for coming here today and spending some time with us in Jungle House up in Bali. So there are so many ways to describe you.
Yeah.
So many people look at you from different worlds, and you're not only an incredible businessman, you're an incredible father and partner and entrepreneur in the neighborhood. What motivates you most when people define who you are?
Ooh, great question. Firstly, thanks, Will. Mate, I love what you guys do, and I just said before, Elevation Barn and being able to realign leaders to go back into the world, to come from their heart, to come from their soul, to make great decisions is what I love. And that's also the answer to the question. It's what I love doing is connecting people to their heart. And even though I don't often say that directly to people, that's actually what I love doing. I love connecting people to themselves in a way that from that place, they're more inspired, they're more motivated, they're more driven, and they come from an inclusive place. It's not so much about me, but we, which also is that step from the Western world, which is about me. In London, it's about me. Yeah. Over here, where we are, it's about we. And sometimes that movement from head to heart is a very long journey. And that's what I love to facilitate in everything which I basically do. Yeah.
So take us back, because you had a fascinating childhood, you as an orphan, and moving up through the pressures of British society.
Yeah.
And that wee bit, I can see how that even leads to the legacy work that you do.
Yeah.
seems to be a lot closer and more important to most leaders I interview.
Yeah.
Usually the we is still very, very prominent, but you always put the self aside. Take me back to the childhood. What's your journey?
Yeah.
Where did Rob kick off?
Yeah. So as maybe you know, but maybe people don't, I grew up in London, and basically from the age of 6 months to 17 and a half, 18, I was in the care system, which you would call as an orphanage or a children's home. There's 2 or 3 of them actually during that time. But I think the thing that I really appreciate the most about it, and again, in the UK, you had classism, racism, you had all of the isms, right? And we were no different. We were growing up pejoratively in a middle class environment, a kid's home that was never wanted. I was the only black kid at school for the first 13 years, so I thought I was white. So all of these things were happening. But the most important thing that I learned from that kid's home was this. Even though we're all very different ideologies, nations of birth, ways of seeing the world, and we used to fight like cats and dogs, right? We didn't get along, most of us. I was made to fight this other kid called Darren, who was a skinhead. He would win most of them. He'd hit my nose and bleed. I'd run out crying. But what I noticed was that when something threatened all of us, which happened 2 or 3 times in quite a violent way, we forgot our differences and we became brothers and sisters, galvanizing, coming together to fight that thing that was threatening all of us. And that one thing, it just hit me in such a different way. And I just realized, far out. So we have an opportunity for people that don't actually like each other, apparently, to come together to create something far more powerful than the sum of its parts. And we're never the same again. So after these things happened, we never went really, even though we still fight, but there was no energy behind it, because you're my brother, you're my sister. Why am I going to fight you? So that one thing that was the catalyst that drove everything. At the age of 12, I wanted to become Secretary General of the UN. That was my drive in life. It's like, this is what I need to do.
Amazing.
And I mean, throughout then what came next, massive events. So we did about 2,500 events, about 2 million people in person. And I was the event producer. Right. I was the host. I was the guy shaking hands, kissing babies, connecting people. Yeah. But again, behind all of that, be they celebrities, be they not celebrities, or high businessmen or not high businessmen and women, I saw them as human beings, and I saw it as a kind of you paint on a canvas. So that was my canvas, and the painting that I was making was bringing people together, connecting them, galvanizing them, and then finding ways for each of them to have their aha moment that then opened up their own mission, purpose, drive, life. And this happened through events, and then coming to Bali. It was a talk show, Speak Up Monday, that managed to create that canvas on which I was painting a similar masterpiece, but it's driven by the same end. How do we connect people together? And how do we create an opportunity where people can learn and go inside to find out who they are, right? And be driven from that place to do what they need to do in the world. That would be it.
So when was the catalyst? Like this, it rolls off your tongue as though that's normal, right? And for most leaders, they're often stuck in their bubble of survival. Back in the dormitory fighting for yourself. What was the change that made you realize that you could embrace that skill, and how was it needed?
So the biggest defining moment was a racist attack at the age of, I was around about 12, I think, right? 12. A lot happened when I was 12. Yeah. And the aftermath of it was me feeling humiliated, embarrassed, and really left wanting at a time when I thought I would be able to deliver in this physical confrontation. Yeah. And I couldn't, I had nothing.
And is this a racist attack? Because you said you were amongst all white kids.
Yeah.
So you were just the solo kid being picked on, or it was?
Yeah, so it was 2 of us walking down the street. Yeah. And it was so we lived in an upper middle class area, the class, and black kids weren't really wanted in this area. So when we were walking past a pub, which was predominantly white, was all white actually.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it started. They were fueled up on alcohol, and they came and picked on the both of us. And then it happened to end up being about 16 people against 2. Well, actually 1.
Yeah.
In the end.
Wow.
It was crazy, right? And but because it was adults, I was blocked. Because fight, flight, or freeze, I flew, then I froze. So I flew when I was the first guy to be hit.
Yeah.
Dropped on the floor. A friend of mine hit him. That guy dropped. Then everyone started coming out. Then I got up and ran, thinking that my friend was with me.
Oh no.
And he wasn't. So when I felt I wasn't being pursued anymore, I stopped and I was like, Andy, hey, and I looked around and Andy was nowhere to be seen. Then as I looked back and I started to walk back, I could see like a scrum of people kicking something on the floor.
No.
And you're way ahead of me. It was Andy and he was on the floor. And I was in that situation of, if I go back, then I'm going to be that guy.
Big stuff.
If I stay here, I'm probably going to feel really bad that I let my friend be beaten up.
Yeah.
And so I froze, and that's not how I thought I'd respond in that situation.
Yeah.
But that's what happened. So in the 3 days that followed, I went through all of these range of emotions, which I just mentioned, and ended up with anger, resentment, wanting revenge. And I remembered on that 3rd day, it was a lesson that we had 6 months prior in history, talking about the 100 Years' War in Palestine. And the kid next to me was, Miss, 100 Years' War, it can't be the same people fighting, can it, Miss?
Mm.
And I missed it then, but I got it in that moment. And I realized it's a story that's passed on from one generation to the next. And I had a choice, solution or part of the problem, choose. Had I found that guy and got all my frustration of what I believe I should have done, where would that have left it?
Mm.
And I had this moment of realization that it would leave it nowhere. If anything, it would make it worse. So I realized then that I could choose a different way to be part of a solution and find ways to bring people together, not break us apart.
Yeah.
To find ways to bring information and understanding and clarity as opposed to ignorance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that moment was on that 3rd day. It was like I woke up a new man. I didn't do anything about it. I was too scared.
Yeah,
but I realized in that moment that I needed to change.
Yeah.
That I could not become, like that, which was just going to bring more problems to the world, right?
Yeah.
And bring racism on just be another angry black man.
Yeah. Was Andy of color or was he
black guy as well?
So
how
was Andy?
Andy.
How did he react to your?
Yeah, I mean, Andy was older than me, but smaller than me, and I don't think we ever spoke about it a lot. But the thing that hurt me is that when we went back, because by the way, he's wearing a diamond Pringle jumper back in those days.
Still have one.
And he got a hole in it, and that was what he's pissed off about. He was more upset about that than anything else, because in those days it was what you wore is who you are.
Yeah.
Right. Sergio Tacchini, Diamond Pringle, all these brands were ones that you saved up your money to buy.
Big stuff.
And so he was pissed off about that. Lylan Scott as well. So when we were walking back and I was saying, I think I was still frozen, and he was just, don't worry about it, one of the older kids in the children's home, who then we were in front of, and then he began to explain it to him what happened. And that older guy looked at me and goes, what did you do? And I told her I didn't do anything. And then Andy started to cry.
Oh,
that's what nailed me.
Yeah.
If he didn't cry, I'll still feel guilty. I still feel bad. But because he cried, men don't cry, especially tough ones.
Yeah.
Back in those days, that was a belief system.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he started to cry, then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And that's what made me feel so guilty, so bad, so humiliated, so embarrassed, so ashamed of what I didn't do.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
So he was fine physically, but mentally, I don't know. I mean, something like that, you're going to carry scars.
How does it show up in your life now?
Ooh, it's more about the solution, because racism, I'm 50 something, right? Racism hasn't shown up for me in about 30 years, but racism, does it exist? Yeah, it does. But for me, no, because I realized what it was. So how it shows up for me is I realized, 30 years ago, something around that, right? That it's like this. When you speak, it's traveling through the air, hits your eardrum, vibrates, hits your brain. A word is formed. There's a filing cabinet in your brain which says, let's say the word nigger, right?
Oh.
There's a filing, and this is what happens, what started it off. There's a filing cabinet for that word in my brain. And inside that filing cabinet is derogatory, blah, 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 blah. Then from that, a message is sent back. I punch, I cry, I run, whatever it is. So it's this response. So I broke it down to those constituent elements and realized it's all about the association to the word. So if I could change the meaning in that filing cabinet, I change the outcome. So that word nigger, I did some research. It means king, right? So I replaced it with the word king. So after that, when people would call me names like this, because we're in the racist place, right? I'll be like,
you're calling me a king.
You're calling me a king. That would not evoke the reaction that that person wanted to see. So they would be confused. They were expecting something that did not come. And then the next state would be then, look, I get what you're trying to do, but why would you do that? Why would you want? Now that would take them to a whole new level. Now some just could not emotionally handle it and would just walk away, move away. And others you could see something going on there of like, well, why did I say that? Why do I want to call this guy a derogatory term? So how it affects me now and the last 30 years is that I realize what is at the cause of racism. I realize what is at the cause of ignorance. So now I'm in the position to adjust, amend, and to find another way to bring that back to people in a way that they get the same understanding as I do. So we'll not be hurt by the word in the same way. So if you take the power out of the word, it's freedom. It's freedom to act, it's freedom to be, it's freedom to think. But the minute you let that word in, conjuring up that imagery in your mind, you go into reptilian brain. So now all I can do is fight, flight, or freeze. I've got nothing left. Whereas if I can keep myself conscious and present and smile, I have access to the whole faculty of my brain, soul, and everything to bring into that moment to help someone to evolve, change, transform.
And how does that show up to you as an advisor for people? Because you advise people coming from all the world how to engage in a totally different culture here in Indonesia. How does that show up as a mechanism or as a tool to help that work? Can it? Or does it?
It does. So three things, I like threes. And it comes from the same thing. So little did I know, I started to create or emulate a system, right? And that system is three parts. So one part is curiosity. So the guy who started nigger, the guy who called it out and ran across the road and hit me, right? The curiosity, if I can suspend and take away what I believe to be right, because I'm right, right? I'm right. I get into curiosity. Then comes, why does this guy believe what he does? What in his experience, past background has led him to believe that this is how I should act? And what is that thing? Curiosity. Number two is humility. Understanding that if I had the same background, experience, people around me, ideologies, role models, right? I would probably think and feel the same way, if not further in. And the third part leads to empathy. So if I've got curiosity, humility, empathy comes next. So I use that same process with those wanting to move to Indonesia because they come with their own mindset. Yeah, especially Americans, English, Americans more. It's I do this, I get this. I pay this, I receive this because that is what is advertised. That's the bumper sticker. That's what I get for the money, right? Whereas here we know it's not black and white. It's often gray or shades of gray. So oftentimes what it is that you believe you pay for or you believe you should receive because it says so is not the way that it is. So by going through that process and understanding them and allowing them to understand the culture, then they're in a better place, more receptive to understand, right? All right, so what I know from the US or the UK or wherever I'm from, I can let that go because when in Rome, I need to adopt a Roman philosophy.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how it shows up.
And you married an Indonesian when you're in Australia. So you have a hack. which is the understanding, like if you get it wrong, you get a whack. Whereas many of us kind of just live through it, right? And we step on these inadequacies of ourselves and put it. What did you have to change in how you approached life to be able to be seen as a brother here in Bali?
I'm not so sure I had to change much, to be fair, right? Because the motto of the country is unity and diversity, right? Bhinneka Tunggal Ika. Unity and diversity, I got at 12 years of age in that kids' home, you know, of all these different people around me, and realizing that none of us are above each other or below each other. We're the same, just a different wrapper, different way of approaching life, different decisions that we made. So in a way, coming here, it felt like an energetic fit or match. And I had no clue what the motto of Indonesia was. In the same way as I had no clue that in my family tree were people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Jamaican Maroons. I had no clue about any of this. And I was never like this. In the kids' home, I was a shy kid. Yeah. Very, very shy, painfully shy, a stutter, a lisp, mechanical jaw issues, and all the rest. No one believed I could become what I've become. So moving to Bali, Indonesia, it feels so aligned because of the motto of the country. And then coming here, it's the same, right? Bali has 5 religions that all make space for each other. Yeah. You know, that appreciate each other, that respect each other. Yeah. There's people from tens, if not hundreds of nations from around the world who descend upon Bali. So for me, it's natural. Like it feels like a natural fit to be in a place where there's so much diversity. Love it. To find ways to find common ground. And that's actually, if anything, that's the key. What is the common ground that unites all of us? Is it football? Yeah. Right? Is it joking around and having a laugh? What is it? You know, is it hair, lack of hair, and you know, hair in the right place, not the wrong place? What is it that is a common ground? So that's actually what I find.
For you though, I look at you and you seem to have moved from status to substance.
Yeah. Ooh.
Where the substance for you seems the common ground. Like it doesn't seem that you entertain idiots or people that are mean or people that don't have the respect of the country. Yeah. How do you manage that? Because when you create a cloak like you've created to protect the little boy that's the introvert with the stutter that has the challenge, you create this Joan of Arc armor, right? Yeah. Which is incredible. But on the inside is still that little boy.
Yes.
We never let that little boy or girl go, right? Yeah. How do you probably through your process, but how do you ensure that the little boy is defended so that you don't bring that inner fear and upset onto somebody when the role has to be more about substance versus stature?
Whoa. Lovely question, mate. What comes up is, and you nailed it, right? So growing up as a kid in these kids' homes, there was a part of me inside that I kept completely locked. Yeah. And even though I was beaten up, bullied, and I was bullying other people and then got bullied again. But it was a part of me that no one could ever get to. Yeah. Could ever touch, no matter what happened. Yeah. And that was great as an armor growing up as a kid. But in relationship, it's a nightmare because in a moment where you're with someone who's with you, who wants to be with you, there's time where you need to open up and let what's in there, what you've been protecting all these years, you need to share that. And that scared the living shit out of me, right? So I realized through a friend, Judy, who's the godmother of our kids, that attachment disorder is what I had. Yeah. You know? And once I realized that, how it made its way to ground is that I would have a girlfriend, right? And attach super fast. Yeah. Like attached. Yeah. And then I would realize, they're getting pretty close. I better push them away. Yeah. Because I don't want to let them in. Yeah. Hurt you. So it took me about 4 girlfriends to figure that one out, right? So Marina, my girl, common law wife, let's call it, not common, but common law wife, Marina, by the time I came to Marina, I'd gone through that journey and realized that one finger pointing at you is three fingers pointing back at me.
Yeah.
So how substance became part of it was realizing that I wasn't perfect and realizing that I have this attachment disorder that is skewing my world to filter and see things in a way that they actually were not. So that internal journey that was over a number of years, decades, that internal journey led me into substance, you know? So it wasn't a quick thing. It was a thing that emerged over time. And then so that substance over time has become more and more important because my girlfriend, well, my wife, she doesn't suffer fools either.
Yeah,
she's a hard lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I'm bullshitting, she'll call me out immediately. Doesn't matter where I am. I'm like, oh, darling, I'm doing it to you with Will. Yeah, but Rob, bang. I'm like, oh. And I know she's right.
Yeah.
So I think having a very strong partner and through going through this journey of self-discovery and uncovering, you know, the areas in life where I am far from perfect, the areas in life where I'm a human being making mistakes, fucking up, all of that as much or if not more than the next person gave me humility and brought me from my ego into a place of humility. Because before I went through different journeys and there was a time I was in my ego too. But when that happened, different events happened to me. Physical always. I got hit one time, front of a door, bang, went down. Like these were moments where it wasn't soft lessons. Right. It was like, mate, you're being a dickhead. Yeah. You're in your ego.
Get in line.
Get in line. Yeah. So I found that these things reflecting back from the universe in a way gave me the substance. And now that's what I seek in others. And I can see it when it's not there. And because I was a people pleaser for a long time as well, while I'll go through that, now I realize that's not serving me or anyone else. So I may as well buckle up and like, you know, embrace the man that I should be and embrace the man that I am now. And if I feel or see this in another person, not necessarily to judge it, which of course I judge it, but just to say, do I want this around me? Yes or no? If the answer is no, find a way to let it go. You know, and do that more and more and more and more and more. So it's like shedding layers like an onion. But again, I don't want to be the asshole. I don't want to be the arrogant guy in the room who says, look, mate, I know who you are, go away. No, but at the same time, I don't want to waste my time either because it's too much work to do.
Yeah, it's a lot. And if Marina was sitting here.
Yes.
Yeah. What would she say? How would she describe Rob and what he needs?
We had a conversation, you know, the other day, such a powerful conversation. And the essence of it was kind of going back to that analogy that you shut down on Speak Up Money, which is good, about nurturing each other and being a stand for one another. And then what she said to me was, you know, there came a time where I realized that if I'm not supporting you, I can then be the weakest link, meaning I can be the person that, because you need to be the person that you are to me, to go out, to earn the money, to do the things you need to do to bring home to us. And we rely upon you for that. Yeah. Then I realized, her speaking, that I also need to step up as a person as well and be the support for you. Right? So how would she describe me? You know, she doesn't give compliments very often. Like when she gives them, it's hard earned. Like it's really well deserved, right? But she's always there and she's like a lion, right? Yeah. So how would she describe me? You know, she would definitely describe me as people person, as someone with love in their heart, would describe me as a person who can get distracted, would describe me as a person who surprises her. You know, because over the years, she's become a little bit more like me, and I've become a little bit more like her. Yeah. So, you know, like this understanding that life can change in an instant. Yeah. Manifesting, this idea that you can create your own luck. This idea that you can magnetize things to you, as opposed to having to chase all the time. She's seen me do over the years. And for her, back then, in her logical mind, it doesn't make sense. You work hard, you get that. You do A, B, and C. 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
But what I've brought is 1 + 1 = 11. You know, or a window, right?
Yeah.
So she's rubbed off on me, and I've rubbed off on her. So she would, in a way, call me some kind of magician, I think, too. But the things which are important to her is heart-centered, is very determined, very resilient, does not give up, and loves people.
And what does he do it all for, in a word?
From her perspective or mine?
But she may tell us, because you may not admit it. But in a word, what do you do all this for? Because you're a lifeline to so many people. You're just there. But what's the inner emotion that doing the work that you do delivers you, or you'd like from it?
What I'd like from it. Legacy. Yeah.
So I love that, because that spins into, you talked about some of the legends in your family tree.
Yeah.
Like, I lost my parents as a child in a different way through cancer. And you kind of lost your parents through changes in circumstance.
I met my dad again, and I met my mum throughout, but yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I'm going to come back to that.
Yeah.
But how do they show up? Like, for me, the word's love.
Yeah.
I do everything. If I think everyone loves me for it, I'm in.
Yeah.
And I love legacy, because you have a chalice to carry on.
Yeah.
From where it's been.
Yeah.
How does your parents show up in your mind? Is it romantic? Is it authoritarian? Is it something you crave? I'm just intrigued, because for me, I'm like, I have this romantic role model of my real father, or what he could have been, or etc. How do they show up?
Wow. My mum, I was ashamed of for years. She used to come and visit me in the kids' home, and I was like, oh God, Mum's coming to visit, you know? And, you know, she had a mustache, she suffered from schizophrenia. She wasn't a well person, you know? And for me, she was not the role model that I was looking for.
Right.
She didn't deserve to be my mum in my head.
Yeah.
Growing up. Many years later, 6 months ago, a year ago, not long, maybe even less than 6 months ago, I came to understand, and I came to realize that one finger pointing at her, 3 fingers pointing back at me.
Yeah.
I felt inadequate. I felt not confident. I felt that my self-esteem was at an all-time low.
Yeah. What was the trigger for that?
Money. Money. So going through...
It was money that was the trigger from childhood, or the trigger that actually 6 months, a year ago, that you realized the 1 and 3? Wow.
Money.
Okay.
The name is Renee. Renee is like a high-performance coach for those who want to move better, right? Move to the next level.
Yeah.
And I met her at an event, birthday party or something, and I found out, and for some reason the question came out. I said, Renee, the clients that you have, what do you find is that reason? I know it must vary a lot, but what's coming up?
Yeah.
Is a block to their abundance. And she said the relationship with their mum. And it just hit me. I was like, oh God. And I suddenly realized something. And again, evolved guy, right? No, suddenly realized that me disliking and being ashamed of my mum was the block to abundance. Yeah. So to answer both questions at the same time. So then I realized, fuck, I actually love my mum.
Yeah. Wow.
I actually realized that, and this one is a kicker, right? So she used to say, I want us to be a family again. Throughout this, come to visit me in the kitchen. And I'm like, this woman's crazy.
Is she still with us?
You know, no, passed away.
Oh.
And we never were a family. So then I got to realize that me going around throughout my life, wanting to recreate a family, brother, sister, communities, bringing people together like a family, was driven by her saying, I want us to be a family again, but me ignoring it. But it sat deep within my heart. And I didn't realize that what I was actually doing through all of these events was doing what she wanted, but not realizing that until 6 months ago, roughly. And this all hit me at the same time. So then I realized that abundance is the mother, you know? So and she's passed away. So I was praying, and I restored the love that really should have been there the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Then by saying, you know, Mom, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
I missed this by a country mile.
Yeah.
And I get it now, you know, and I want to thank you. I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
You know, and please forgive me for being this arrogant prick who didn't realize, didn't realize what he didn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that is the impact, or that's how my mom comes into my life now. It's abundance, actually. And you're reminding me now of that.
Yeah.
That's my mom. My dad is a guy who, I found him through a long process that happened quite naturally and instantly. It sounds like anyway, but it is what it is. My sister, was the first to knock on his door in London some winter's night, and he had a hole in your family and blah, 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 and knock. And my dad was, opened the door and didn't acknowledge it. Wife, my mother-in-law was like, Lambert, another Jamaican woman, Lambert, don't screw around, and at one point he said, you got me.
No.
Like that. You got me. So what do I get from my dad? I hope he's not going to watch this, but he probably will. So what I realized was that the men in my family were emotionally not there, not present. And emotionally, they ran away. His father, my dad's dad, my granddad, he saw a handful of times in his whole life. So in Jamaica, by the time he was like 8 or 9, he was already working the fields, creating income to look after the family. This is my dad.
Right.
Because his dad came, left. So what happened between my dad and my mum was like a fatal attraction, the same thing again. So in some ways, I felt that the men in my family tree were emotionally not present and were emotionally running away. So what is it that I get from my dad was an acknowledgement that I need to be the change, right? That it stopped with me. I went through 3 relationships, 1 year each, where this attachment disorder was kicking in and I didn't know. I kept kicking away. And then the 22-year relationship that happened afterwards, it was too late to save that one. But my current one now, right, I know who I need to be in that relationship to stop this idea of running away from our emotions, right? So what I get from my dad is resilience, right? To be that guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I think back to those, like our parents were in a different world.
Yeah.
Most dads were all working and like your father in the fields, they had to kind of focus on just survival for the family. It's different. And I wonder, you triggered something, losing my parents. I only recognized and wasn't embarrassed about my stepfather because he was a little guy. He was a teacher. And my father was taller, an inventor, right? So there was romanticism.
Yeah.
But I only really appreciated my stepfather when I wrote his eulogy. And I wonder how many kids are embarrassed of their parents, regardless of circumstance. And it only triggers when there's a big change. It'd be an interesting one to unpack.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you moved, I could spend forever talking about the UK, but you moved from the UK. What was the catalyst? You went into a bit of modeling in Milan, good looking boy and all that lot. What was the catalyst for that? How did you get from central London out into the catwalk and Speedos?
I was, as I said, the only black kid at school for the first 13 years. And what happened was that I adopted a Caucasian set of values. In other words, how I see beauty is Caucasian, and black wasn't beautiful. Simple as that. And I was depressed at how I looked. And I'll pick myself apart in the mirror, and I'll go through these whole episodes of just falling down the hole, right? Spiraling down. Because I was uncomfortable with how I looked. And I planned nose job, lip job. Like I planned it, right? I didn't do it.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Should go back.
No.
Good looking.
You know, what happened, mate? You know, so I didn't think I was anything. I thought I was down there, not hit anywhere.
Wow.
So the modeling thing, that was funny. I mean, it was a way to try to give me the self-esteem that I craved to be confident about how I looked. And that was underpinning everything. The process of how it worked was I was in London and someone approached me for a running commercial and I did that, and that led into, hey, maybe you should do this.
Yeah.
And I got photos, went to an agent, got an agent, walking around with a book, castings, didn't really get much, but I got a few things. And then I thought, well, I'm broke, not really successful. I may as well be that somewhere else. And basketball gave me the idea of traveling.
Yeah, you played for the England youth squad, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So traveling around that gave me the idea of traveling beyond the borders. So I was like, maybe, and then I went to an exhibition where I met a guy called Franco Trincanetti, who's a photographer from Milano. And I didn't know anything about him, this weird looking old kind of guy, but I kept his business card.
Yeah.
And when I came to this idea to move to Milan, then the universe conspired. I had one guy I met. I live in Milan. If you're ever around, come and see me. I had this guy, Franco Trincanetti, in Milan. I was like, whatever. I scraped up the cash, went to Milan. Franco, literally, the second day I was there, I thought, I've got to go and try and find this guy. And I bluffed my way around the Metropolitana. I didn't speak Italian at that time. I got lost. I ended up walking across this little square to his studio. 6 months had gone. I didn't know what he looked like. All I had was his business card. This guy was leaving with a suitcase. And literally, I caught him as he was walking across. You can't make this stuff up. And I said, Franco. He said, Si. You know, and I was like, ah. Now I was training boxing, so I had a great body.
Yeah.
And so he was like, mate, eventually he's like, let's do it now.
Wow.
So we did this test, you know, photographs. He goes, right, I'm about to leave. He was leaving to go to New York. It was like a Friday. So just pure luck. And, or not. And then he gave me this thing, go and see this guy on Monday. I go on Monday to this agency called Ricardo Gay, right? I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to a gay agency in Milan, right? With some guy called Franco saying, see this guy called, I can't remember his name, Stefano. I'm like, whatever. So I go into this agency and all these handsome looking guys, all I saw was guys, and I was just remember, I'm still not confident about how I look. So I'm kind of walking down and I'm walking around. I get to Stefano. He gives me my book. We look at the photos, right? Come back in 2 days' time. I'll give you some castings. So I walk out. Now I have to face the other way because the guys are on that side, right?
Yeah,
so now I'm looking at this. I'm walking out and I'm looking at the wall and I see these covers. Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell,
Wow.
Ava Herzegovina, Marcus Schreckenberg, who were all supermodels at the time. And I'm thinking like, where the hell am I?
Wow.
As it turns out, it's not a gay agency.
Yeah.
It's called Ricardo Guy. And the pronunciation, Guy, not gay.
Yeah.
And it was the top agency for models in Milan, one of the top
Wow.
agencies in the world. I had no clue that Franco backdoored me in.
Wow.
And then I did all these shows. I did billboards. But this is one thing that's important. It was the Swiss Jeans show, 1998, with Naomi Campbell.
Wow.
I was the first model out on the catwalk right?
Yeah.
Now, so I'm there, right? Remember, modeling is about the outside world feeding back to me that I look okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm at the front and the guy with the Michael Jackson, headphone set calling us out, 30 seconds left. So the countdown comes and I have a regression on the spot to back in the kids' home of me sitting on my bed with a mirror and me picking my face apart. I don't look good enough. And I realized, holy shit, in that moment, all the things that I've been trying to attain through modeling
Didn't mean
anything.
Wow.
Because I was going from the outside in, not the inside out. I bluffed it. I moved into the extrovert guy and did it, but I knew that it didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's where 20, 30 years of inner work came after that. Yeah. So that's how I got to Milan, and that's how I had all these outrageous experiences. I met football players, famous celebrities, worked with Madonna on the 1998 MTV Music Awards. Like I was saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Like Jim Carrey, yes, I was that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why you went to Australia after that? Why Bali? Because it isn't the epicenter for showmanship and the presence that you have a superpower for, right?
Yeah.
You have that skill.
Yeah.
It's like getting in the smallest pond you probably could, compared to the world that really craved what you have, and also craves the lessons.
Yeah.
What does it bring you?
Love it. Love it. Love it. So what it was, I was living in Australia, Sydney for 25 years.
Right.
And so what happened was I was running clubs and bars there.
Yeah.
And so we're talking over an 18-year period.
Yeah.
That one of the venues that we ran was number 2 in the world.
Yeah.
So really high level stuff. And over that time, that's where really over 1.5 million people through the doors. So I got to impact that amount of people with good stuff over that period of time. So I was still doing it in terms of I was at the front door as well. Even though we ran the nights, I was going the door saying yes and no to people.
Yeah.
So I had that opportunity to touch someone, to connect with them at the front door. They would go in, and then later on, I'll be on the dance floor with them because I was a bit of a dancer. That's another story for another day, maybe. So what I was doing is that I was breaking people down in the same way, but now I'm using events and clubs and music to be that common ground, the thing that can connect and unite us. And off the back of that, I was speaking, I became a speaker, I became a coach, I became an author, right? Because I knew all the people and I was connecting them with each other. Now, 20 years or so later, I was burnt out, right? I was working with the Aboriginal community, which was some of the most fulfilling times of my life, but I was burnt out. And Marina, we just started to go out. My 22-year relationship would come to an end. So there was all of this ending things going on. And we met, and within a year or so, she's like, "You're burnt out." And I was like, "I'm not." She goes, "No, you are." Banging my chest. I'm a man. I'm not burnt out, right? All of that rubbish. And, but how she got me, was she said, "Let's go on a family trip." We had 2 very young kids. "Let's go on a family trip to Bali." Right? And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then when we came to Bali to Tabanan, Salamadak, which looks similar to this, I realized I had to change. I realized that I was burnt out. I realized that I needed to move. So when we went back to Sydney, after we were there for about a month or something, 3 weeks, I knew we had to move back. I've already felt it. And then for her, she felt the same thing. Right. So within 3 months, we had moved to Bali. Wow. Now, to answer the second part of your question of why here, what I noticed is that Bali is a place which not only allows you to rejuvenate, transform, and heal, it's a birthing place, an incubator of sorts for phenomenal ideas. It's like the heart chakra of the world, one of them, right? Yeah. So the energy here allows me to be so creative and to unite people, all the rest of that stuff, which I love. Yeah. But also it's helped me to grow up. You know, so now I'm fully embracing, you are a communicator, you have a message, you have a mission, and that is to connect people to their heart, right? This is what you do. You use humor, you use your physicality, you know, all this, but that's what you're doing actually, you know, and you can do it from here, right? And you can birth it from here. So it's been an incubator for me to grow up and to grow up and to grow in, you know, and to peel more of the layers off and to realize, stand up for it. Because for many years, I'm really good at supporting people and I love supporting people too, but I'm also the front man too. But I can be either. Right. I don't have an ego of I need to lead everything. No, I'm a great supporter, right? But what I realized, you know, not so long ago was that decision that I made at 12 to be Secretary General of the UN, but then moved away from it because I could see that the UN wasn't really what it was cracked up to be. It wasn't following the mission. It was driven by other things. I was always kind of holding myself back. One of the reasons that I felt was given to me 5-10 years ago, with this lineage, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, they were all shot. They were all killed in their prime,
Wow.
you could say.
Yeah.
So there was this aversion, this fear of me stepping into that person,
Wow.
but knowing that that's who I am, but not wanting to go there.
With the responsibility of being that?
Responsibility and the fact that these guys stepped up and got killed for it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be killed, thanks.
Yeah.
So there was this fear of stepping into it. So in many ways, Bali gave me the space and time to reflect upon that and to say, you know what, Rob, you're not getting any younger. You need to do what you're meant to do, mate. You need to step up and become this and do this and go now. You know, so that's why Bali, that's what probably attracted me here, what keeps me here, and knowing that it will be a base.
Yeah.
That I will go out.
Springboard.
I will go out
Yeah.
and explore and come back.
Yeah.
But it's a base. Yeah.
Yeah. So when do you feel like you're playing your big game?
Ooh. When do I feel like
you've done the catwalks in Milan, you've played basketball for Britain, you've survived the orphanage, and you've come through as transformative. But when does Rob feel like, poof, this is it. This is my big game, and I'm feeling it.
Love it. Oh, great question, Will. Two things come up. You know, one is that I set goals for myself. I'm not a goal-setting type necessarily, but I set goals.
Yeah.
And these goals are not goals in the sense of goals. These are images, which is like a vision that comes in. So one vision that comes straight to mind with Speak Up Monday, a tropical nomad, was that before it was all clear before the gardens encroached and everything else.
Yeah.
And I had this vision that there would be, you know, over 200 people at this event, and it would just be screens and extra things up, but it would just be huge, you know. And then it happened, right? It was a crypto Speak Up Monday, and it happened, and I felt that I got that.
Yeah.
Another one was a 500th episode, right? Was imagine visions just coming in of like an auditorium, like just beautiful, state of the art LED, people in the audience looking, clapping, exploring, happy, you know, and I got visions of it. I get these visions of things like that, you know, and that's what happened on the 500th episode. Another vision, which I've always had, which was, you know, being on a huge stage in front of large numbers of people and owning it. This came recently. IUCN in Abu Dhabi is the largest nature conservation congress in the world, once every 4 years. And I was I was moderating all the ocean section, and that's what it was. Another vision, which has not been complete yet, is on a stage at the UN, World Economic Forum, these sorts of stages, and doing the same thing, owning the stage, meaning it's not ego, it's about presence.
And how does that make you feel? What's it bringing to you?
Yeah. Completion.
Ah.
It's a feeling that that's what I was born to do.
Love it.
So in that place, it's calm, actually. It's not out there, it's in there.
Yeah.
It's like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. And it's calm. It's not exuberance. It's not out of the way, out of the box, it's calm. It's owning the moment, you know, and owning that experience, which just feeds back to me as this is exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Yeah.
What's your superpower? What do people lean on you for?
Ooh. Hearing, listening, connecting. You know, I mean, connecting usually comes first.
So on the flip side,
listening.
Yeah. So usually it's your nemesis.
Ooh.
Right? It's what you need help with most. So what do you need to listen to that you're not?
Wow. I think sometimes I hold myself back, you know, and I mentioned it before, you know, I could be doing more.
That imposter syndrome thing that we, the little boy.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
Yeah. That, And I know I can be doing more than I am now. I know that I'm not living to my full potential. So that's probably the thing, that I'm not doing it. I'm doing it, but I'm really not owning it yet.
Yeah.
That
Well, you are everything, as with the legends that came before you, there was the time. There had to be the right time to apply those skills, right?
Yeah.
Maybe your time is coming and soon, but you need to have these skills to be able to do that.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm on the right path.
Yeah. Oh,
right. I feel that, right? The energy is coming into that.
Yeah.
And I know that everything happens in its own time for its own reason. And that's perfect.
Yeah.
So all of this I know, right? On a soul level.
Yeah.
And with my head, it is like, but Rob, you could be doing more, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all falls under what you talk of the invisible infrastructure, right? And I guess it's your invisible infrastructure.
Yeah.
What's the invisible infrastructure that, let's just flip a little bit into people that are coming to Bali, the business leaders that need a friend, need a brother, someone that they can trust.
Yeah.
Also, what I love is it's also somebody you can trust that plays a big game or knows a big game or is aspired to the big game.
Yeah.
Which means you're going to be leading. You're not there to be myopic and held back. You're going to give them wings, right?
Yeah.
What's the invisible infrastructure of Bali or Indonesia that people need to be wary of to be successful here?
It's all about relationship first, more than anywhere else where I've been. I'll give you an example. When you have a meeting here, right? And it's been said before, but it's true. 90% of that meeting is how are you? What's going on? How's your kids? Da 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 da. Like it's who are you? Right? Not what do you do?
Yeah, human.
It's who are you? Right? And the last 5-10% is like, okay, blah 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 blah. Yeah, done. Okay, boom. It's literally like that. So like, I think the thing that people need to be wary of the most is time and your concept of time. From where I'm from where you're from, let's go. What time are you meeting tomorrow? What time? Let's go. Right? What time?
Yeah.
You come with that mindset here to rush, you're done. Like the people step back, not open the door, they'll close the door. And you won't even know the door is closed. It's an invisible door, but it's closed. So it really is, like, do not be afraid to show who you are. Come with heart. Come with contribution in your heart. If you're coming for what can I get, this is the wrong place for you. Because, there's a funny story, and I'm sorry for anyone in Napoli, but it's true. Napoli has some of the best ladri, right? Pickpockets in the world. Like, you come out of the station, they know exactly what is where and how to get it.
Wow.
Bali, so Indonesia is 17,500 islands. We're talking about one of them, which is Bali. Balinese, definitely, they know your soul. They know your soul. As soon as you step off, they know who you are. Right? Now, in Napoli, in general, knowing where to find it will be used against you. Thank you very much. If you're not careful. Here, because of the way that the principles are followed, Balinese would not steal from you, would not use this thing against you. Other islands, different mentality, right? But they know who you are. So don't pretend to be anyone but who you are.
Right.
And like, I'll give you an example. There are so many times where things have happened to me that could have gone really pear-shaped quickly, but they didn't. And the only reason is because I'm relatable, not because I'm trying to push relatability, but because that's who I am. So, for example, it's a difference between being stopped because you're not wearing a helmet. I wear a helmet, but let's say I wasn't stopped in the street by a policeman, right, without a helmet. There's two ways you can go. Why are you stopping me? Look at all of these local guys. They're not wearing a helmet. Why am I the guy you stopped? Right? Why me? Why? The book gets thrown at you. Other way to look at it. I'm sorry, Pat. It is my fault. I should be wearing a helmet. I was rushing out the house this morning. it's my mistake, so I apologize. Like how can we make this right? And all of a sudden it becomes a conversation about his kids, his wife, my wife. I left the house, had an argument with my wife. She sent me out. I forgot my helmet and I ran. You know what it's like. The next minute, it's like, listen, it's okay, lah. Just go on your way. But next time, please wear a helmet.
Love it.
That's it. To me, that's Bali.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, that's Indonesia too.
Yeah.
Who are you? Right? And if you come with this, wrong place. Come with this. Heart, not head, first. You need your head for discrimination, don't get me wrong, but it's about who you are, not what you do.
And when you flip the coin the other way, what's the advice and guidance you give to the Indonesians for the business people coming in?
Great question. It's all the things that I did wrong, right? I did a big event here, and to get this event out there, I upset a lot of people when I thought I was being nice. I was saying please and thank you. But it was the tone of which I was asking, requesting, not what I said, but how I said it. So when it comes to going the other way, what I say to Indonesians is, who's in front of you and what their intention is. Their intention doesn't always match the words that come out of their mouth or the tone in which they say it. It doesn't mean they're a bad person.
Yeah.
It just means that their background is that, because they've come from a place where you have to be that to survive. So what I say is just take a breath, give them a break, and ask yourself, who are they? And if you know and you feel this is a good person who's just stuck in this situation, respond in that way. If you think that this is just a bad person, like they're just not set up, walk away.
Yeah. You got your finger on the pulse. I think here more than any bule, as we call ourselves. Where's Indonesia at? Where Bali seems to be going into this this hyper spin of transformation.
Yeah.
Where do you feel Bali's at? And what does Bali need to do to stay with that rudder in the water, to be the place of spirituality and connection that is so craved around the world? Where are they, and what do they need to take heed to?
Got it. 3 things come up. Number 1, before you talk about Bali, you have to talk about Indonesia at large. I noticed some years ago through the talk show and talking to different people, there was a 22-year-old lady from Java, and she said to me, Rob, when the rich scream, wealth whispers. Now that was impactful to me. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
Because Rob, Indonesia is a wealthy country. This is one of the things I noticed. Fast forward, what I realized is that Indonesia is a phenomenal country. During COVID, deglobalization proof. One of the only nations on earth that didn't need to import anything to survive. Raw materials, everything, right? It's here, right? Okay. What I realized was this, is that Indonesia knows and understands it's a superpower at its core. When you look at the history, colonialism and all the rest of that, there still is, in some Bule's minds, this understanding or ideology that I am superior. And we're not, right? So what I've noticed over the last decade or so is Indonesia at large, a rising understanding of nationalism, but not exclusive, inclusive. So in other words, Indonesians, I feel, understand that they're sitting on a pot of gold. What they have is actually special, right? Number 1. Number 2, how that interprets is, for people like me, is to really clearly understand that when you come here with contribution in your mind and in your heart. Do not come here with this ideology of what's in it for me and take. And that allows people to see how you treat people. Because if you treat people as being beneath you or below you, or less than you, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Because what's rising is this. So this will not be tolerated. So that's the first part. The second part now about where Indonesia is going is that Indonesia is a friend to the world. It trades with everybody. It gets along with everybody, right? It's a massive nation. The fourth most populous country. In a decade or two, the fourth largest economy in the world, fifth to fourth largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
Indonesia is on the move.
Yeah.
One of the youngest populations in the world. Yeah. You know, under 30, right?
Yeah.
It's on the move. And the young and the bright have a thirst for knowledge, a thirst to evolve, right? So all of these things are coming up. So then when it comes to Bali, Bali's always been unique because of, you know, less than 5% of GDP, but over 70% of tourism comes through Bali to Indonesia. Voted number 1 destination in the world, TripAdvisor, but it's always been in the top 5. So with Bali, it's always been a melting pot.
Yeah.
Tri Hita Karana is a Balinese philosophy, which is for the person, which can be mapped to everything. 3 roads to prosperity or happiness, or a balance between a harmony between human to God, culture, customs, tradition, religion, human to nature, regenerative systems, policies, and practices, and human to human prosperity and dignity. But anyone coming to Bali needs to understand this one thing, because this is how Bali operates at the core. So how is Bali going forward? Right now, it's facing a lot of challenges because there's a lot of immigration, foreigners coming here with a mentality of property, real estate, business, and how it should evolve, how it should run. Bali is one of the only living cultures in the world, right? Meaning offering ceremonies every day, no matter what, right? So where is it going is that it's a future which is, we come here for culture. So the culture must be preserved, conserved, maintained. Tri Hita Karana, everyone should know that coming in here will then, instead of working against the system, will contribute to it with that same mindset and ideology. So going forward, you know, Bali will continue to evolve. It will continue to become, you know, that place that people want to come to. Quality tourism is one thing. So probably less reliance on volume and more reliance on quality tourism. And this has been echoed from tourism department, the president down, and become a place where culture is preserved. Outside of that, Indonesia as itself as a whole will continue to grow and will become a superpower in the world for sure.
And how would you like to be recognized in that painting?
Yeah.
What's in your playing your big game?
Yeah. I'm a gateway. You know, I'm a gateway to Indonesia. So I'm one of the people that stands at that gateway, which is able to bring aligned businesses, ecosystems, individuals into Bali/Indonesia at large, which are there to contribute something valuable. That's what I want to be known as being a major thoroughfare for that, not of volume, but of quality.
Nice. And you're applying that quality tomorrow. I mean, you're leaving here to go and host Bali Ocean Day.
Yeah.
Help 2/3 of our planet on an island nation.
Yeah.
What's the presence and the message you feel that Indonesia has to the world with regards to ocean, as an ocean seafaring nation?
Yeah.
And what would you like people to take away from the experience over the next couple of days if you as the catalyst and the connector of message as well as people is successful?
Beautiful question. Okay, so Indonesia, I mean, when you think about it, 17,500 islands, right? It's the largest archipelago in the world, the second longest coastline in the world, like one of the most beautiful places in the world, you know, from coral, diving, ocean, landforms, volcanoes, you name it, right? It's a beautiful place. So when it comes to Indonesia, specifically when it comes to maritime or marine, you know, the world is facing a crisis, and that crisis is affecting all, land, air, and sea. You know, so you've seen an acceleration of environmental disasters and problems and chaos.
Yeah.
And Indonesia is no different to experiencing those over the past, 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, landslides and chaos, right? So the way that Bali Ocean Days fits into this is that it's a catalyst. It's a place where government can meet private sector and they can work together to create solutions toward what's happening in the world. And that's beyond the shores of Indonesia and Bali, at large, right? So what is it that I would love to see for people to come and people to get? It's underpinned by Gotong Royong. Now, Gotong Royong is, the community coming together to solve a challenge faced by the community. The community is a global one. It's not just Bali or Indonesia. It's a global one. We're part of a global ecosystem. So it's empowering that message throughout the community. Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, unity and diversity, right? It's empowering that because we're from different nations with different ideologies, different mentalities, but we're united in our diversity, right? And the third thing, again, coming back to this Tri Hita Karana, this harmony between nature, between nature, God, and each other. This is also is incredibly important for this ecosystem of oceans to survive and to work together moving forward in the pursuit of finding solutions. I mean, one of the things which, I'm a member of the board for Sky Blue Sea Foundation that's behind Bali Ocean Days. And, one of the things which the founder, Paul T. Tan, has really got behind is this Coral Destruction Declaration. And so then, Bali Ocean Days 1 was really all about who can we get into the room? Can we get government? Can we get private sector? Ray Dalio, one of the richest guys in the world, Ocean X, Vincent Pierabone, the CEO, we're in the room. So we're talking to the top people in the world. Number 2 was about, can we collaborate? Can we come together to create solutions, right? Not just a talk fest, but outcomes. And in there, the army came in with a pontoon for cleaning the rivers and estuaries, practical solutions. So number 3 is about, right, how fast can we come together to create solutions that impact the world at large? And so, this coral declaration, for how do we protect coral that takes millions of years to form. It's incredibly important for the ecosystem of the ocean that impacts everything. So this declaration is one thing that will go into all of the industries connected, maritime and so on, all the people using the ocean. This is the declaration that you can get behind to ensure that you maintain the health of the ocean, which affects us all. So these are the things which I'd love people to get after 2 days with Bali Ocean Days.
Amazing. Well, I wish you well on that. I
Thank
think
you,
it's going to be amazing. I always ask a final question. We've sort of built this international network now for Elevation Bar. And our aim is to help people with clarity of purpose and help them impact what they're doing. How can we help Rob?
Okay.
Because Rob helps everybody else.
3 things, one thing would be, if you have people that are responsible, that are malleable, they're not stuck in their ways, that want to enter Indonesia, Bali, let's start there. I would love to be a gateway and a vehicle to help you do that, right?
Awesome.
To be able to connect them to the key people, the key corridors of power, the key networks to ensure that they save time, money, and mistakes. That would be one. Number 2 would be, an opportunity within your ecosystem to spread this message about how can we connect people to their heart to make better decisions. So I would love to be part of what that looks like going forward. And then number 3 is, how can we work together to create more stages, bigger stages, UN, World Economic Forum, to get there and to broadcast that message. Because for me, it's always been about, how do we bring together these different groups and ecosystems to form something that's greater than the sum of its parts. Elevation Barn and the work it's doing, and there are some others which won't mention for now, but there are some others. So how do we then, and I'd love to be a vehicle for this, how do we then find ways to, like a puzzle or a patchwork quilt, how do we find ways to bring these different organizations onto the same table? Because there's duplication or collaboration. Duplication is a waste of resources, time, and energy. You know, it's where it's the me, right? I want to fix this. I'll come and do it. As opposed to saying, well, hang on a second. Is there anyone else who's working in this direction? Because what help do they need? How can I support them? Because if they've already passed through the gates and they've solved a lot of these problems that I will face going in, why then waste the time and energy when I can help them be more impactful and more effective? So that's what I'd love to see, you know, bringing together these different groups, disparate, some they may be, across industries. It's industry agnostic. How do we cross-pollinate that together to create an initiative? Doesn't need to be a company. An initiative that is moving the world forward, you know, and that would then involve, some of these big stages. That would involve, having this power base that then has access to pierce through the veil and to really impact, connect with those corridors that actually matter and those communities that matter. Together, we're stronger.
Awesome. Love it. I think we've got a lot of work to do. That is for sure. And I also love your point about such a large, young, under 30 population. There's so many people that we need to influence to help give them the wings that we've kind of had the fortune to have through fate and issues along the way from our childhoods to where we are today and bring everyone together. But thank you for journeying with me on your earlier, mid and future story. It's been an absolute honor. And it's been a delight spending time with the legend. Thank you for all you do for not just the local community here in Bali, but internationally on the stage. You're a good man. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, my man.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you, brother Will. Love you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you.